true magic. It was pretty good.
I was listening to some of the pregame coverage for the soccer game today, and apparently the manager of Arsenal at a team dinner right before the start of the season hired a bunch of professional pickpockets to come in and pilfer the players' phones and keys and such as an example of why they should be very prepared all the time for whatever can happen.
That's a pretty good one.
Yes. I thought that was a
good
good move
that.
by Arteta.
And it's like, everyone's like, not my phone. Oh, where's my phone? That's good.
Yeah, it seems like athletes are taken aback more, maybe than the average person by sleight of hand. Yes,
I remember being at the
pull a quarter from behind their ear. What?
The first time I was at Super Bowl, like before opening night was crazy like this. David Blaine was there when he was becoming famous, and it was the Rams and Titans. I mean, he's very good with the sleight of hand. He wasn't holding his breath for an hour, freezing himself. This was like
trying to make
really good street magic
disappear.
stuff. This was the street magic stuff. And, man, he had some dudes like, are you possessed? You some kind of witch or something? It was really good. Really good. It's pretty cute if you watch this stuff. They had a lot of the guys doing card tricks and things like that. It was pretty good.
It was one of the saddest things that's ever, I felt so bad. A friend of mine and I went to Quincy Market in Boston, and they have street musicians and entertainers there. And so there was a magician, and he was doing his act. And he was doing, the hide the ball in the cup thing. And he was, I think, getting a little older and maybe a little off his
Wasn't
game.
quite as good.
And so I saw him what he did to get hide the ball or whatever. He tossed it aside. And so he literally saw my eyes follow the ball, and he packed his stuff up and went home.
You sent him home?
He packed his crap up. I mean, there was like a couple hundred people there, and he was like, that may have been the last time this man ever performed.
You retired this guy.
I may have retired him. I felt so bad because he caught my eye, he saw my head move, and I saw what he was doing, and that was it for him.
Oh, my
The
gosh.
magician said, I'm done. I'm out.
Danny Klingscale,
Maybe,
ending
maybe,
career.
maybe we'll see some sleight of hand from Patrick Mahomes tomorrow night. Todd.
If I've lost Klingscale, I've lost Middle America.
It's good. It's over. It's over. More Danny Unleashed up next. We are going to talk serious X's and O's about
That's
the
right.
Chiefs next.
We will.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
Welcome back into the program. I'm Todd Lebo in for Soren Petro. Danny Klingscale is here. He's unleashed. Curtis Seabolt is here. Jason Justice is here. He is leashed, though. Chained to the board till 6 p.m.
Curtis got to see the card trick. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, that was quite amazing.
It's worth.
I like good card tricks.
I do too.
That's,
I like
that's
good-
beyond a good
I
card
like magic.
trick.
I mean, I know it's not real, but
I like
sometimes
good-
I
good-
can't believe.
I like movies that aren't a true story, so that's okay.
I like good preseason football, too. And that's what we're going to get.
We're going to get
Saturday.
electrifying preseason.
We are
going to
get to see a little more of the first team, which is what we want to see. You want to? I don't really care if I see Patrick Mahomes throw a good pass. I want to watch Kingsley Suamataia get a little more exposed here at left tackle because that's important. They've had a lot of different people play left tackle, and they've won the Super Bowl with 3 different left tackles
and 3 different right tackles.
They haven't had a rookie left tackle play in the Super Bowl for them. So this is something different, and it's important. You know, they've proven you don't have to have Trent Williams be your left tackle to go win the Super Bowl, but they've also proven if you got nobody out there, you may get your butt beat in the Super Bowl. What do you think of Suamataia and how important is it to him to get some real reps here in the preseason?
I think it is important. I think last week provided a platform, I guess, for Andy Reid to sort of publicly hand him the job by taking him out and saying you don't need to play anymore, and we're worried more about you getting hurt than anything else. But now the rest of the players are going to play a little bit more, so he gets to play a little bit more. And I heard Tim Grunhart the other day on this show, and he was talking about the fact that he got beat kind of bad on one play. He only had seven plays, I think.
Mm-hmm.
6 plays, 7 plays, and so I assume the Lions will be playing first teamers for a while anyway. So I do think it's important. I mean, he's impressing them, and he is has cemented himself as the starting left tackle. But we haven't seen him in game action, and who knows? After 3 games, they could be like, well, he's not quite ready, and Mahomes has been sacked 8 times in 3 games, and he's getting run over there. Now, I don't anticipate that's going to happen, but you do want to see it in live action, that's for sure.
And it was a mess last week with the kickoff. So I want to see that get better. It's not the most important thing in the world in the preseason, but you want them to know the rules. You want to not see big, wide-open areas.
What I thought about the other day when I was hearing people talk about the special teams and the kickoffs is that, because the players are, charging in from closer, and, the thought was, or I think Adam Teicher was talking about it, saying that, once you break that line, there's a chance for a big play. I think these teams are going to morph into having a couple of safeties, as it were. That not everybody's going to go hell-bent for leather.
Well, that's one of the reasons that Tobe had been toying with, and maybe still will at some point. Justin Reed's been hurt. If you have Justin Reed kick the ball off, you would rather have him be a safety than Harrison Butker be a safety. So I don't know. I think we're going to see at some point, maybe not for the Chiefs, but someone in the league's going to have someone not a kicker kick off some. They're going to do that. And I think eventually, listen, if you're not good at covering, you just kick it through the end zone.
Right, because it seems like the way it's set up, who knows whether people will improve at it. It seems like they're getting out past the 20 quite a bit so far. And if the other teams are advancing the ball to the 24, 25 with the threat of a big play for 4 or 5 yards, are you just not going to thump it into the end zone and, let...
Well, the other side of it, you think you can always do, is you think you can force a fumble and get the ball back.
Right, and it is, if executed properly, you're kicking from close enough where I would think you should create some problems, but so far that doesn't seem to be a narrative where they're getting the ball on the ground.
Well,
where
what
the person has to
I would try
corral
to coach whatever you could, practice, make him then pick the ball up off the ground.
Right.
That's harder than catching it in the air.
I would agree with that, totally.
And we've seen plenty of football plays over the years where the ball is on the ground and 4, 5, 6 guys try to pick it up, and they just can't pick it up. So that if you can take advantage of that, I would absolutely do it. I would squib kick more in the old style of kicking too.
Because the reason you don't squib kick when it was the traditional way is because sometimes you'd hit some guy who was at the 45-yard line, he flops on the ball, and they've got great field position. Well, you're that much further advanced. You should be able to get a squib kick pretty far down there. I can't believe they haven't squib kicked more.
Yeah, I think we'll watch it happen. It's going to develop throughout the year, and teams will get good at it, and they'll copy each other, and someone will do something. And there will be, we saw this happen last week where they didn't know the rules, and there's going to be other things. There's going to be some part of a rule
clarification
that we don't know.
this week?
Well, yeah, you can't take the ball back in the end zone.
So they were right. Everybody was saying they were wrong in the wake of this.
Yeah, the Chiefs were wrong to try to do what they did.
Okay.
Yeah. They know that now.
Because Andy Reid said the referees were wrong.
He said
after the game, and then he said something different.
Okay, that's what I didn't hear anything clarification of that. Yeah. So McCole Hardman was doing what many Chiefs returners seem to do.
Yes.
Something bad.
Deneric Prince should have caught the ball and run with it. But he thought the ball was going to go in the end zone. He misjudged where he was. That's because he hasn't done this a whole lot of times. You know what I mean? You don't just let that ball bounce because you just assume it's going to bounce the other way. That's not the way football works.
Right.
It's not round. You may think, he's kicking it from there. It's definitely going to bounce the other way, but you've been out there enough. You ought to know that the ball can do anything. You catch the ball and start running with it. But that was a perfect kick.
Mm-hmm.
If you could kick it down there to that exact spot every time and have it bounce back the other way, that's exactly what you want to do.
Perfect.
And that's probably not what's going to happen more. But
it seems
why
like
you should squib.
Now, you can punt, can't you?
I think you have to kick
it off the tee.
Don't you?
It isn't like a free kick.
Haven't you always said
the old some free kick thing or something? I don't know that answer, Danny. But that's my point. I know there's some weird thing here where like say you kicked a line drive the guy can't jump up and try to catch it who's in the line, right?
Right.
Yeah, they can't move till the ball's
you can't move. So
touched or lands.
You could reach up, but if your toe comes an inch off the ground, you've jumped or something.
Right.
There's
so you have moved.
Yeah, what is moving? It's moving your arms and leg. So someone's going to try to squib one somewhere, and it's going to be too low, and it's going to be whizzing right by someone. Can you reach out and grab it? Is that moving or not moving? There's lots of little rules that I'm telling you that if the special teams coaches
just popped
and head
into my
coaches
head,
don't know the
maybe
rules.
the reason for not squibbing is if you squib it, as soon as it touches the ground, they can move, can't they?
Yes, but that's why you got to be able to squib it far enough. You can't
hit a bounder.
There's a landing zone. You have to be able to hit a burner basically. You have to be able to chip and run. You have to get it up over that line, and you got to land it in the
That's
sort
right.
of
You have to hit
space.
it into the landing zone, so you can't hit
you
can't hit a traditional squibber.
No, that'd be way too dangerous because you got all of your players in front of you.
Everyone's packed up in front.
There used to be only them in front of you. Now you've got all of your guys and
all
of
their
them.
guys.
That's a lot of people to try to squib it through.
Yeah. So it's more of a like you say, would be more of a chip shot.
Yeah.
19
bump and
people
run.
strung across the field.
Yeah, but you would think that these kickers are good enough to do a lot of things.
And they
got
at some
nothing
point
to do
they
but
will.
practice.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what else is there to do? Get your tee and a bunch of balls and go out there and just chip it around. We'll see a lot of different things happen.
Well, also over time, there may be people who are not in the league right now who see an opportunity to work on things like that.
Yeah.
And, then they'll come into an NFL camp and say, look, I can drive it into the landing zone on a line that's only 6 feet off the ground.
I mean, this is one of the most fundamental changes they've made in the game, and since I don't know when. I mean, we've had instant replay and things like that, but I'm talking about like
an actual
play
structurally changing the way a game
since the
what
2-point
play
conversion
is made. And even that's just, it's a different
Scoring.
thing, but it's still
football.
It's still football.
Yeah.
But nothing like this has happened.
It'd be interesting to hear what along the way to coming up with this sort of goofy idea in many ways, what other ideas they had, what other ideas they tried to hatch.
Well, really the only thing they could do is keep moving the kicker back, but this turns out to be a safety thing as much as anything.
Yeah, that's the thing that is kind of odd to me because let's face it, they don't really care about safety.
I don't understand how you can say that, Danny. They've made this rule up.
and let players...
You can wear a gladiator helmet in the game if you want.
It's such window dressing. They really don't care. I mean, let's be honest. And it's a violent game anyway during the regular part of the game. So, so they take what is basically one of the most insignificant parts of the game and use it as window dressing that they care about player safety, which to me is kind of silly anyway.
I can't believe you're saying these things, Danny. Such cynicism.
Well, that's why I'm unleashed.
He's unleashed here, saying the National Football League doesn't care about their
There's probably
players.
a lot of things they could do in the run of play, as it were, to use a soccer term.
Well, they've changed lots of those rules, too. I mean, you can't launch, and you can't...
That's
they've
true.
gotten rid of the wedge, and flying wedge in the kickoffs, and you can't... They've done a lot of things on that front. So you're getting sued, I suppose.
True enough. That's a big part of it. But anyway... What everybody wants to see is another standout performance from Carson Steele. That's what everybody really
wants. That's what Chiefs fans want.
That's what they treasure and cherish. At this
Danny's
point
always brought to you by Easton Roofing. Joe Spiker and his team at Easton Roofing. Never try to sell you a new roof when all you need is repair. Wonderful people, the highest integrity. We all love Joe. And we're glad that he sponsors this because he likes to hear Danny Unleashed as well.
Oh, he does. He's just driving around, doing hard work, and with a smile on his face.
Is he in this league? I
don't think so.
Premier League guy, isn't he?
No, he's a Bundesliga.
That's right, he's a Bundesliga guy.
The Bundesliga.
He's a Bundesliga fan.
Jersey one day.
Anyway.
I've seen Joe Spiker Unleashed. It's scary.
Always a pleasure, Todd.
Good to see you, Danny.
All right.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new. This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Joe Spiker and his team are the best in the business for all your roofing needs, handled with honesty and craftsmanship. Visit them at eastonroofing.com.